Hello and welcome to Race Car Fabrication and Restoration. I'm Ronnie Humphrey. As always, thanks for joining me today. I greatly appreciate it. Don't forget to hit that like button and that subscribe button if you haven't done so already. Well, I visited with the owner of the 1997 Kyle Petty Daytona 500 car here, the Hot Wheels car, and I went over the list of items that need to be done to the car. He went back and told me what he did want to do and what he didn't want to do. So we'll get started on that list today and see if we can get some things done. So, right along with us, let's have some fun. Okay, to catch some of you guys up, this car was sitting in an enclosed trailer up in Arkansas, and some thugs broke into the trailer and started stripping the car down for the parts they could get off. They stole the intake, they stole the carburetor, they stole the distributor, they stole the radiator. They came in and clipped wires from the wiring harness, just clipped them off. They're trying to get the ignition box out of it. They stole a bunch of gauges out. So we got a lot of work to do, but there's a lot of other stuff that needs to be done to the car. The paint is really bad faded. As you can see, this fluorescence is real bad about that. Right here is almost white completely. There's some decals messed up. I was wanting to go ahead and swap these tires out and put the black rims back on it and get these tires have the interliners in them. And since it has a Richard Petty signature, the more this car rolls around, it's going to eventually break that signature up. You won't be able to read it. But the owner says, look, I want to keep it simple. I just want to get it running. That's all we want to do. He actually uses this car for a prison ministry. And I was really excited to hear about it. Good Christian man. So basically, we're going to keep it real simple. We are going to do some very simple stuff. We're going to get it running. I got to move this mount here back over there so we can get this tank here. Then we also, today, we're going to build a radiator mount. We got to close off the bottom down there in the bottom. So we're going to keep it real simple, and obviously we have to fix all the gauges and stuff. But today I'm going to concentrate on the front end. I do want to pull the intake back off because Buddy found a 1/4-inch nut in the valve springs the other day. And we are not sure. I promise you, when people are stealing stuff, they're not worried about keeping stuff from falling inside the motor. So we're going to go ahead and take the intake back off. We're going to rotate the motor real slow. We're going to scope it, make sure there's nothing inside of the cylinder wall. So I do not want anything sitting on top of piston. That would be bad. This is a brand new little Edelbrock crate motor that they sell, a little street rod motor, but we don't want to mess it up. So we're going to keep it real simple. Just basically get the car running. And that's it. The big item is the exhaust, the cooling, get it running, and then because the exhaust is rotten, by the way. And then we're going to pull out the fuel cell. All bladders leak. I don't know why they do, but all of them leak. So we're going to put a circle track fuel cell in here, just a regular small fuel cell, and fix that. So that's the plan. So let's get started. And we're not going to worry about all this wiring stuff today. Today, we're just going to concentrate trying to get this bottom closed off on that radiator, get a radiator mount built, and then move those mounts over for the power steering tank. And we'll worry about all this wiring and all this stuff and the dash interior stuff later. So let's get started. Oh, goodness gracious. Well, that was a booger to get out. This is what held the oil coolers back in the day. And air would come up from the bottom and be sucked in. Try to keep the oil coolers cool. So anyway, I'm glad I got that out. We will now proceed to see how we can try to block off the hole. Okay, got that off now. All right, I jumped up here to this power steering tank because I want to think on this radiator. I can either build a new mount, a saddle bracket to go on the back side and move the radiator back and have to put this build some extensions here on this ductwork, or I can actually cut that crossmember out. And I'm really leaning towards cutting the crossmember out and just lowering it. The radiator will fit in between the frame rails with no problem. But I think I'm actually going to cut that thing out and extend it down just about 2 inches. And I could change the ductwork to where it'll still run into the bottom of the radiator. Of course, I mean, things not going to be erased, it'll be fine. But I've got to change all this up over here anyway, because this oil cooler came up. Oil cooler bracket came, it was level on that side over there, but came up and then back down on this side. So I got to change all that up anyway. So I really think I'm going to cut this out and lower it. And because I want to try to get the radiator in it today if at all possible. Okay, there's one crossmember. Get a 7/16 and take out this nose support brace here, and we'll lower that down and make quick work of this. All right, hopefully this will turn loose. Hey, look at that. I guarantee you that hadn't been off since a long time ago. All right, here we go. We'll simply add some extensions on the bottom, drop this down, and we'll go that route. I'm gonna clean up his frame in here first so we can weld to it, but I think that was kind of the low-hanging fruit to take this approach. Okay, I'll show you what this looks like now. It's pretty simple. Just simply lowered this far, so we lowered it probably good 2.5 inches, and I have some plate. It's just a lot quicker to do it this way. We're still way above the crossmember, so you're not going to be any danger of knocking the bottom of the radiator off. If you do, you're going to take the, matter of fact, look at that. I just didn't realize the oil pan is actually lower than the crossmember. So anyway, but that's the life of a show car, is not pretty. But anyway, we'll go ahead and we're going to test fit the radiator. Then we'll come back and we'll just make a transition piece go down to the bottom of the radiator here. Then we'll fill in that gap there. Do the same thing on this side, and that'll make it a whole lot easier. I'll be glad to get this part done. All right, I like it, I like it, I like it. We'll build a real simple transition piece from there down. And I tell you one thing I didn't realize, by lowering this radiator, we have avoided a major catastrophe of trying to get this radiator hose and the bottom hose through this crossmember. So that is fantastic. So we'll still cut our tabs off down there on the bottom, but we'll weld this thing up and we'll trim the top here to where it matches the top of the frame. But there you go. I'm real tickled about that. We still got to weld our piece here for our tank. I know where it's going to go, so we're in good shape now. Okay, we got our new mount in for our power steering tank, and that's all welded in and painted. Can you believe I had some paint that matched almost perfect from one of our late models? I need to put a little bit right there, but hey, the rest of the car is so bad it doesn't really matter. But we're going to raise up now, start trying to cut on this aluminum here, see if I can work that somehow. Again, the problem's going to be on this side over here where it's raised up, so we'll get it up in there and try to come up with a game plan here. Also need to put a couple of tabs to locate the radiator from moving on the bottom, which is going to put a couple of tabs welded on the bottom. That would be real easy to do. All right, I found a piece of aluminum. It's even petty blue. Can you believe that? Pepsi blue, actually. But this is what we're going to do. The box in the bottom, we'll tighten that up. We'll rivet across there. And we'll have to cut it down there on each side, so the radiator will go up tight. And then we'll bend the ears back on each side, so that's going to look pretty good. This was off my son's modified, already has holes drilled in it for the rivets. So we'll go ahead and mark this thing up how we want to cut it, and then we should be in pretty good shape. All right, here's our piece, and man, it turned out pretty trick. Just used a piece of aluminum we had left over, and like I say, it'd be perfect for what it'd be used for, because the owner wanted to keep this down to a minimum cost, so we're not having to buy any new aluminum or anything. So I'll put this in there and show you what it's going to look like. All right, this is what we've got. That'll be tight across the bottom whenever I pop rivet it in place, plus I'll tighten up these corners. So we'll try to set the radiator here now and make sure that works before we fasten this piece in. All right, it's going to work very nice. Got to rivet these sides in there, but that's going to work good. Okay, let's get everything out now, and we will rivet this thing in place, and we'll go on to the next deal. Man, I tell you what, that is like just all right. Got a tight seam there. Put a little silicone on that, which again, we're not racing, but man, that is just fantastic. Love it. So now we're done with the bottom. We'll get the top side where we can get the radiator secure from the top, and let's see what we can do there. All right, I am extremely happy how that turned out. Everything's pop riveted in and tight. All the seams are tight. So we'll get the radiator in there now. Easy for me to say, and see if we can figure out how we're going to tie it in at the top. Okay, our next item of business, we're going to make a transition piece here. Get the radiator we're strapping down. So we're going to go probably go about 5 inches. 5 inches, and we're going to make it where it fits in the middle here. So about 5 by, let's say 5 by 21 3/4. 5 by 21 3/4, and we'll put a transition piece from here to there, and man, that'll have that thing secure. Okay, we got this little sexy piece made here out of some aluminum, and what we're going to do is put it like this. The lip will hold it in position. Then we will pop rivet across here, and we'll be able to use these Zeus buttons and take it back off. So let's pop rivet this in there, and we'll see how well it works. We'll put 2 little 1/8 inch rivets right here, and that'll be solid as rock. All right, love it. I think that's a good stopping point. Well, to say that I am happy is an understatement. This is just fantastic the way this turned out. It looks so nice and neat. We've got our power steering tank relocated. It's solid as a rock, not going anywhere. Now I have clearance for my radiator hose down there. So this is a major task getting this done. To be honest with you, this is probably the worst thing I was dreading, trying to get this all situated, but we got it done. So we'll probably keep on tightening a couple things up here. I got to get the intake off here in the next day or two. Then we'll tackle this fuel cell back here in the back.